نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد بسم الله. Alhamdulillah, a great month is upon us, a month which is special because it is the month in which Qur'an was revealed. It is a month that embodies one of the pillars of Islam. It is special because it has a night that is better than 1,000 months. It is special because this month gives us a unique opportunity to seek forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and gain the ultimate redemption. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls out this month of Ramadan in the Qur'an by name. Surah Baqarah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan is that in which was revealed the Qur'an. There's a mention of 4 sacred months in the Qur'an, but there's no month that is mentioned by name except Ramadan in the Qur'an. So we'll talk about 2 aspects of Ramadan today, inshallah. One of them is about its blessings, its virtues, the special opportunity to really seek forgiveness, the ultimate forgiveness. And the second aspect is about what should be our behavior, what should be the end result of going through Ramadan. So inshallah, let's begin with the special rewards of fasting. We should first ask this question: what is our ultimate goal? What do we want to achieve? And I think our ultimate goal is to perform actions that lead us to Jannah. And then really, we should then be eager towards anything that gets us closer to Jannah. And this is where Ramadan comes into the picture. There are many gates of Jannah, but there's a special gate which is dedicated for people who are fasting, called Bab Ar-Rayyan. It's come Sahih Bukhari, narrated by Sahal radhiyallahu anhu, "Inna fil jannati baban يقال له الريان يدخل منه الصائمون يوم القيامة لا يدخل منه أحد غيرهم." There's a gate in paradise called Ar-Rayyan, and those who observe fast will enter through it on the day of resurrection, and none except them will enter through it. So now there is something unique about Ramadan that is not mentioned about anything else, and that is that the Shayṭān are chained during Ramadan. There is no other time of the year where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blocks the Shayṭān from bothering us except in this month. And if you look at what stops us from performing good deeds, or what invokes us to indulge in sin, there are 2 things. There is Shayṭān, and then there is our nafs. So it comes in a narration. Abu Hurairah narrates in Bukhari, إذا دخل رمضان فتحت أبواب الجنة وغلقت أبواب الجهنم وسلسلت الشياطين. When the month of Ramadan comes, the gates of paradise are opened and the gates of hellfire are closed and the devils are chained. So Allah takes care of one of the agents or one of the factors that incites us towards sin and blocks us from committing good deeds, and that is the Shayṭān. And then the second part is left to us, which is really that we have to do our portion of the action and control our nafs through practice in Ramadan. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to make it easy for us to do good deeds in Ramadan. He increases the reward of fasting such that no other action leads to the same level of reward. That comes in another narration. Abu Hurairah narrates in Muslim, كل عمل ابن آدم يضاعف الحسنة 10 أمثالها إلى 700 ضعف قال الله عز وجل إلا الصوم فإنه لي وأنا أجزي به يدع شهوته وطعامه من أجلي. Every good deed of son of Adam would be multiplied, a good deed receiving a 10-fold to 700-fold reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then said, with the exception of fasting, for it is done for me and I will give a reward for it, for one abandons his passion and food for my sake. SubhanAllah, what a beautiful way to motivate us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that even getting 700 times more hasanat was good enough, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it special, something special about Ramadan, something special about fasting, that only He will give its reward, and He does not even mention it. So we can only imagine, just like the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is endless, similar would be His reward of fasting. So I want to mention one more virtue of Ramadan before we move to the second part of today's reminder. So imagine what would be the pleasure of meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. how would you feel in Jannah when you would see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There's nothing that can match that feeling for any moment. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises for people who fast. لِلصَّائِمِ فَرْحَتَانِ فَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ فِطْرِهِ وَفَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ لِقَاءِ رَبِّهِ. There are two occasions of joy for one who fasts. So joy when he breaks it fast, meaning at the end of every day, and joy when he meets his Lord in Jannah. So now that we know the virtues of Ramadan, we should all try to push ourselves hard in this month. It is no different in the worldly sense. You hear about a mega sale somewhere, and what do? You even try to buy things that you don't need today, but you accumulate because it is such a good deal. You know, they're available at such a low price. And similarly would be the case for Ramadan. There are things that we do not get time throughout the year in ibadat, in actions. And in Ramadan, we should push ourselves then to read more Qur'an, to do more dhikr, to do more tasbih, to pray in jama'at, to offer taraweeh, tahajjud, nafil, and to do as much sadaqah. Just maximize your shopping of rewards in this month like a mega sale from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But let's not forget one thing, which is very important. We said in the beginning, what is our ultimate goal? It is to get to Jannah. But what is the immediate goal of Ramadan? So Jannah is our ultimate goal. That's what you will get in Akhirah. But what is the immediate goal? And that's what is laid out by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Baqarah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you who have believed, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may become righteous. So the immediate goal of Ramadan is to become righteous. It is to build taqwa. And there are many deep definitions of taqwa, but I'll try to explain in simple terms what is taqwa. It is that you have developed a consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have a sense of awareness of His presence. That is taqwa. So any action you perform, you're checking within yourself whether this action would make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy with you or He will be angry with you. And some people associate the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the fear of His punishment. But that is only half the definition of taqwa. The better half is to act righteously for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His majesty, out of thankfulness for all the blessings that He has endowed upon you. That is really the better half of taqwa, that you're acting in love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that He does not become angry with you, not out of the fear of punishment, but more out of His love. So let's look at some examples of what taqwa should inculcate in you, so that you reflect on your actions, your behaviors on a daily basis, and understand, am I working towards my gaining taqwa, or that's where I have failure in this Ramadan. And we'll talk about what the consequence of failing a Ramadan is towards the end of the reminder, inshallah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions a few different examples of behaviors that we should strive, especially when we are fasting. مَنْ لَمْ يَدَعْ قَوْلَ الزُّورِ وَالْعَمَلَ بِهِ وَالْجَهْلَ فَلَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةٌ أَنْ يَدَعَ طَعَامَهُ وَشَرَابَهُ. Whoever does not give up telling lies and evil deeds and speaking bad words to others, Allah is not in need of his fasting, that he is leaving his food and drink. So when you're fasting, you should train yourself to be truthful, not to be abusive towards others. And that is one of the aspects of gaining taqwa. Another example, you may be doing all the right things, but perhaps others are not respecting Ramadan. So فَإِن سَابَّهُ أَحَدٌ أَوْ قَاتَلَهُ فَلْيَقُلْ إِنِّي إِمْرُؤٌ سَائِمٌ. If anyone insults him or quarrels with him, let him say, I am fasting. So if someone else is invoking bad behavior in you, they're not respecting Ramadan. They could be fasting, they could not be fasting, doesn't matter. But they are the cause of your irritation. Then it is upon you to manage your emotion and do not retaliate, but build the quality of forbearance and forgiveness. And just say, I'm fasting. To end the argument, I'm fasting. I'm not going to engage with you in this behavior. And you can extend this these examples to all other weaknesses and sins that you have. So protect your gaze and don't look at non-mahram. Close your ears, don't listen to music. Check your food and don't eat, drink, or smoke doubtful things. Engage in ibadah. Don't waste your times with games and movies and social media. And on and on and on. Everyone is the best judge of himself. What are the actions that you perform that in Ramadan you should refrain from? So now you begin to see what it means when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that fasting is to build taqwa. Because Shayṭān is tied. And then there's no external influence or interference. And throughout Ramadan, you are fighting against your own desires and trying to practice the best behavior in akhlaq so that you can tame your nafs for the rest of the year. So I'll close off with a warning from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam about Ramadan, which should really shake you up and make us change our priorities in our daily life inside Ramadan or even after Ramadan. Abu Hurairah narrates in Tirmidhi, رغم أنف رجل دخل عليه رمضان ثم انسلخ قبل أن يغفر له. May he be destroyed, who passes through the whole of Ramadan before his sins are forgiven. Subhanallah. And this is part of a famous narration where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was climbing the mimbar, and every step of the mimbar, he said Ameen. And this particular dua that Jibreel made, he said Ameen. So imagine we are going to enter Ramadan very shortly. We don't want to be the one who finishes Ramadan and fulfills this particular curse from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The curse that Jibreel made and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said Ameen. So subhanallah, what could be the failure bigger than this, that we finished Ramadan without seeking and gaining the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we'll close off today with the dua, Allahumma taqabbal minna siyamana wa qiyamana wa salatana wa ruku'ana wa sujudana wa tilawatana wa sadaqatina wa a'malana kullaha ya arhamar rahimin. Subhanaka wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.